Things you never knew about anchoring the news, Part 1. We don't use paper scripts anymore. In fact, the scripts are on an iPad here, but really, we're reading teleprompters right out there. How do we know how to move the words and how fast the words should go? There's a controller right here. Turn the wheel to the right, and the words go faster. Turn the wheel to the left, and the words go slower. Turn the wheel even farther to the left, and the words go backwards. Things you never knew about anchoring the news, Part 2. People say to me, Dave, why do you have to put makeup on? You're a guy. Here's why. In order for the cameras to make you look good, you need many, many, many lights. And these lights are intense. Those lights on regular skin tone would wash you out and make you look like a ghost. Plus, it also helps to cover all those blemishes you may or may not have. Things you didn't know about anchoring the news, Part 3. People often ask me, Dave, where's all the crew members? I don't see a camera operator. I don't see a director. I don't see a producer. Why are you all by yourself in that big empty studio? The answer is because all of the cameras and all the equipment is robotically controlled. No human operators, all controlled electronically from the control room. Plus, you might be asking, well, how do you know what's going on and how do they communicate with you? The answer is in my ear. That is an IFB earpiece. It almost looks like something the FBI would wear. IFB stands for interruptible feedback. It gives an opportunity for me to hear all the instructions from the producers and the directors back in the control room, right in my ear. Things you didn't know about anchoring the news, Part 4. In a studio like this, there can be dozens or even hundreds of layouts for cameras and positions. So how do you know where to stand? There's markings on the floor. Each one is labeled depending what the segment is and what you're trying to do. Sports can stand here, or sports can stand here. Or if you want to be on the triple monitor, you stand right here. This helps not only get you in the position you need to be for the background behind you, but also for the robotic cameras to set you up correctly. Want to see a Part 5? Like and follow for more. Things you didn't know about anchoring the news, Part 5. Why is there a big, bold clock on every single camera in the studio? Great question. That's because everything about television and broadcast is based on time. Commercials have to roll at exactly the right moment. And if we're not done talking at exactly 6:22 and 10 seconds, guess what? You're going to get cut off. Whew, glad I made it. That also means you'll have producers and directors in your ear telling you how much time you have left to talk before you have to stop. 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And when you're trying to read words, move a teleprompter with your hand, and know how far you are from the break, it can be very distracting to have voices in your head. Things you didn't know about anchoring the news, Part 6. People often ask me, Dave, how can I get a custom-made IFB earpiece just like yours? The answer is, it's a lot easier and cheaper than you might think. And whether you're a news reporter, an anchor, a security guard, a bouncer at a club, or you just want to look cool, having one of these can be really awesome. There are several companies who do it. Mine happens to be from audioimplements.com. They'll mail you a special chemical kit that makes a putty. You pack it in your ear, mail it back to the company, and before you know it, voila! It fits like a glove. And you can get it for way less than the cost of an AirPod. How about just $50? It works just like a single headphone. It'll plug into your cell phone, walkie-talkie, or anything else. Now hit that share button and copy link if you'd like to see Part 7. Things you didn't know about anchoring the news, Part 7. People often ask me, Dave, when you're out in the field reporting, how do you know when it's time to talk during a live report? After all, there's no magical floating television screen that we can watch that shows us what's happening in the newscast. So again, it all happens in our IFB. We can hear when the anchor says, Dave Roush is in the Bronx now with that story, Dave. And then we know it's time to go. And how does our IFB connect to the control room? Very simple. We plug into our cell phone, dial a special phone number, and on that special phone number, we can hear everything that goes on from the control room and the newscast. It's the same reason you'll often see reporters with a single AirPod or EarPod in their ears because they need to hear the IFB line from the newscast. Here's a tip, reporters. Don't do this. It looks cheap and cheesy. Get yourself an IFB instead. Things you never knew about anchoring the news, Part 8. Many of you have asked me, Dave, why is it when a reporter goes live in the field that there's a huge delay when the anchor says, Dave Roush is live in Manhattan with that story, Dave? That's right, Dave. Officials are telling... Did you see it? Here's why that happens. In part 7, you learned it's the reporter's IFB that lets them hear the anchor toss to them during the live newscast. But it's the technology they use to get their signal back to the studio that causes the delay. This is a LiveView backpack, and inside that backpack there are a bunch of cellular LTE modems that send video back to the studio. The only problem, that stream is delayed almost 5 seconds in some cases. So when the reporters hear their cue from the anchor on the IFB, they start talking immediately, but because of the delay from the LiveView backpack, you don't see them start to talk for several seconds. Stay tuned and hit like, share, copy link, and follow for many more parts to come. Things you never knew about covering the news, Part 9. People often ask me, Dave, why are so many of the news cars I see out on the street white in color? There's a great answer for that. And that is because news cameras need to be told what white looks like under current lighting conditions. It's a setting called white balance. So pulling up to the scene of a breaking news story makes it really easy to jump out of the car, turn on your camera, point the camera at your white car, and boom, your white balance is set and you're ready to record. If you want to see part 10 and beyond, make sure you click share, copy link for many more. Things you didn't know about anchoring the news, part 10. Did you know we could change the look and feel of the studio depending on whether the show is morning, afternoon, or evening? It all happens on a light controller just like this one. This look has an orange color around the desk and back walls, but with one click of a button, we can change it to a nighttime setting. And see it change from orange to dark blue. And if there's breaking news, check this out. We can go red for a sense of urgency. And please take a second to hit that like button, share, and copy link for many more.